what's up? I'm going to give a very quick rundown on my thoughts on the Assassin update. I normally don't do rundowns on patch notes because there are so many people who do this, and often they're like high challenger mains of whatever champion is being updated, so I generally don't feel I can add much. But this time, seeing as Assassins are generally what I play, I think I'm going to give a pretty decent rundown of my thoughts on what will be broken and what won't be. So, Cat, first up. I'm going to start with Cat, seeing as that's favourite champion ever. First off, general, these are amazing news. Cat was gutted by, these are just back to her old values pretty much. I think that base health regen is lower than before, but it used to be something crazy like 9. That's more like a normal, or at least Riven level of base health regen. So that's nice. That means she doesn't have the lowest base stats of any viable in open brackets there, mid laner. So this is all good stuff. This actually makes it feasible for her to exist in the mid lane at a higher level. Now, on to Q. You only get 3 daggers now. The thing with Q is it's going to be really hard to actually trigger the second half of this in lane. Now, a lot of the time you won't anyway, so this will make her early laning phase not too bad. But the real problem is when you get to team fights, you're going to throw the dagger. It doesn't land on top of them, even if you throw it straight at them. So, to actually get hit by the second damage, you've got to throw the dagger at them, and then they've got to be stupid enough to walk on where your dagger lands. Now, maybe in lane, you can make it so it lands behind them, and they run away, and then you step on it, but that's going to make it... I'm a bit worried this is giving too much counterplay to Cat. Like, when I say too much counterplay, imagine Garen. Like, no one feels outplayed by Garen. They feel disappointed in themselves that they stood next to Garen spinning. Like, I don't want Cat to get to that stage where people just feel like they outplayed themselves if they ever lose to Cat. Like, it wasn't Cat doing anything right, it was the enemies being stupid enough to stand on daggers. That's my main fear of the rework. The damage is actually decent. If you manage to land it, sure, that's a pretty big nuke. W, it's kind of sad Cat loses the damaging ability. This movement speed is a little low. Yeah, it's kind of okay. That delay seems a little long. All of these delays are a bit disappointing, but that's like Riot's entire theme of the rework, so you've got to go with it. Shumpo, it's not bad. Makes it much better to keep 1 point in. I think AD Cat, where you max E, is going to be pretty dead. Well, it is completely dead. It no longer gives a... Actually, I don't know. I don't know if this still gives damage reduction. There's no mention of it, so I assume it doesn't. The only hope for AD Cat is it resets its basic attack timer. The big killing of AD Cat is the fact that the highest cooldown is up to 8 seconds from 6 seconds, so you can no longer get those 3-second Shumpos. It might still be viable. I'll have to test it a bit. But you get some nice resets going on. That could be quite fun. I don't know, build full AD Cat and get the double autos. That seems like it would be really strong early game, but fall off super hard. Death Lotus. This is pretty simple. It's pretty much a buff. Like, it's a tiny bit. The burst damage is down, as in if they flash away straight away, you're not going to... But, like, when they're putting so much delays into the rest of the kit, this is pretty much irrelevant, because it's going to be so slow anyway. And this is actually, even with my thousands of games on Cat, I'm still sometimes a little unsure on the max range of Death Lotus. This is just as much a buff to Cat players, especially not so experienced ones, I guess. And this is buffs for bad players. Right, on to the next ones. Talon. Talon... I don't think Talon's going to be very good. It's going to need buffs, to be honest. But what is this? Why is Talon's movement speed going down while his mobility is being reduced already from his Insta-Flash E? I'll get onto this in a second, but the passive, he has a passive now. Talon's old passive was basically non-existent. It's his bleed that's been moved from his Q, so he lost his Q damage passive to get it on. Poor Talon, he just can't, he can't get a break with passives, can he? And right, Talon's auto reset is now his dash. So if you use your dash to go in, you now have less damage to kill someone. Okay, at least the damage is up overall. Rake, this is the most nerfed skill, I'd say. You no longer get the instant slow, so people will just walk out of it. Like, it's such a small radius. Why 22 degrees? That's tiny. I don't know, that's that or something. I don't know, you can see my mouse making that. What's going to happen is you're going to jump on them with your Q, your only way of going in. You've already lost your damage from going in. Now you throw the rake out. You do less than a basic attack with your rake. And then they slightly step to the side and avoid your damage. Like, you've got to have someone else CCing them for this to be useful at all. I guess it's better wave clear, but Talon was already fine on wave clear if you bought a Hydra. This will be, I don't know, this could be okay. It's kind of cheesy running about the map, but they've reduced his movement speed. What? How does this help Talon get around the map easier? I'm just thinking of your path to bot lane or top lane. And I can't see him actually getting to either of these lanes quicker after you've nerfed his movement speed. Yeah, and putting points in it's pretty much useless. And Shadow Assault, this is okay, I guess. It's pretty much the same. I'll have to see the graphics for way more blades. Sounds like a graphical buff, which is nice. Blades have minimum timer. When you think about that, that's... Remember when they get Zed a 1 second lockback on flashing back and it killed the champion? That's pretty close, but I guess Talon is a little different and he is invisible during this. So I'm interested what happens if you press R, then can you attack someone while still being invisible because your blades can't return yet? That'll be an interesting interaction. You just take completely invisible damage. I don't know about that one. And I'm only going to briefly go over Leblanc and Rengar because I don't really play either of these champions. Rengar, from what I've seen, Rengar seems pretty strong. Riot seem to have messed up here, and he seems to burst people quicker than before. So this is going to be an interesting one. He has sort of a Tom Kench W now, but you can go read his abilities for yourself. In terms of balancing, it seems, from what I've seen from Rengar main's posting, it seems like his unhealthy mechanic of insta-gibbing you has been made even more insta-gibby for some crazy reason. And LeBlanc is no longer an assassin. Like, I don't know, 1.5 seconds? That's a joke. Like, LeBlanc's going to have to build, I don't know, tanky with Rod of Ages or something now because she needs to stand next to you. 1.5 seconds. LeBlanc's going to dash in, and an AD carry is going to heal off her quicker with a Bloodthirster, and she can apply that. LeBlanc, the champion wasn't healthy, but this is, I don't know, she's no longer an assassin. You can't put it that way. Right, these are quicker to go over. Fizz, buffs, pretty interesting. Fizz is pretty small changes. This one's pretty crazy because this max range one lets him teamfight and siege better, I would say. Like, they're putting him more into the engage theme, so this is pretty nice. You just stand at the back and, I don't know, wait for someone to land a Morgana Q or something, then you throw the Chum the Water on them for this huge nuke and just one-shot a tank, or anyone unfortunate enough to get caught by it. So pretty good changes to Fizz. He's not in a great state, so these are pretty much buffs. Kha'Zix, this is just insane buffs. What are they thinking with this? This is... yeah, I don't know about this one. This is pretty much just straight buffs to Kha'Zix. Seeing as Kha'Zix was in an okay state before this, it's going to be interesting how he results. This could be like, I don't know, Kha'Zix could easily go up to, he might be one of the 55% plus win rate champions, if I'm correct here. Because if you get caught alone, you just won't be able to duel Kha'Zix, and solo queue Strong duelists and solo queue are always strong. Akali is dead. Akali has been utterly gutted. Right. Ult has been just destroyed. E has been killed. I mean, how often when you're killing someone do you also kill a unit right next to them? And they've nerfed it for wave clear as well, because it used to be on a much lower cooldown. This makes Akali's laning a little better. It gives her an escape, but most people were able to survive until 6 anyway. That was pretty much learning Akali was learning how to safely lane with her. And her passive is pretty shit. I mean, woo. Tiny bit of extra ability power on a second basic attack. I don't know, maybe some sort of Trinity Force or something stupid like that build will occur, but this seems pretty much just a direct nerf to her passive. Like, you're not going to be able to jumping around getting kills on people anymore. Like, 8 seconds? I guess when you're first team fighting, you're probably going to be, I don't know, up to 5 seconds, but still. You've just killed someone, you got your reset on your ult, you jump on them, oh, you've got no damage, great. Your E's on a high cooldown, because you don't have 1 point in it. So you're just sitting on top of someone getting killed. Maybe you have to build more AD. Zed pretty much got nerfed. I think someone did the maths on it. And for this new death mark, unless you're facing a super fed Jhin, it's basically just a straight nerf to Zed. I mean, he loses his 20% bonus attack damage for this 15% of targets total. It really is, unless you're facing a fed Jhin, it's a nerf. Which was kind of odd seeing as Zed isn't in a great state. Echo, they're wanting to kill Tank Echo. Who knows if they'll succeed or not. They've done this like a million times. I'm bored of talking about Echo. They keep nerfing him, and he keeps being played. Shaco, who knows? I don't care about Shaco. Like, apart from the 2 or 3 autistic Shaco-only players, no one cares about Shaco. Like, there are some changes. I think he does less burst damage now. Like, less consistent. So he's not going to kill a lady carry on his own anymore. And his early game cheeses are weaker. Which is great for people playing against him, but I feel sorry for Shaco mains. And the only other thing I'm going to cover, you can read all the other stuff yourself, or watch one of the other million videos on patch notes. I'm going to talk about lethality. This actually seems better than I thought it would be at first. It's a nerf to snowballing, which is kind of sad because Riot keep nerfing snowballing, but that's just the way the game's heading. Ghostblade is now pretty awful. Like, they're only giving it they're giving it the same lethality as it currently has armor pen, and they're taking away the attack speed for what, 300 gold less? Nah, that's not going to be built on many people anymore. Duskblade's pretty good, 15 lethality. These are just pretty good stats. I don't know, I'm not sure any of these items are going to be that great, to be honest. Like, thinking about who buys them currently, outside of the assassin class, probably not going to be many people. Gangplank really likes an armor pen. I reckon Gangplank will take lethality runes. Marks, flat, the runes are pretty good. Flat armor penetration runes and quints, I think they're going to be pretty usable. Especially on people like Gangplank who don't really team fight until level 13. They're great anyway. They're going to be pretty amazing. But I don't think Gangplank will buy a armor pen item anymore. Maybe Edge of Night if he versus an AP lane instead of a Hex Drinker. But he'll probably still go more for the cooldown reduction. I think these just generally aren't great. They seem like they do too little damage for a few weird passives. Like, AD Assassins don't have great options from these. And as for the rest of the stuff, all the plants and all this stuff, you probably not just going to comment on it for now. These are pretty big changes, but in terms of assassin mid lanes, that's pretty much what affects it. Oh yeah, one last thing, Abyssal Scepter. Where is it? Abyssal Scepter, I know you got changed here. It's not going to be a must buy on every mid laner. I wouldn't rush it anymore, but it sort of acts like a mini death cap, I guess, late game. So, I don't know, I still buy it on someone like Katia versus, I was about to say LeBlanc, but LeBlanc isn't actually much of a lane bully in the same way as before. You might still have to buy Abyssals. It's more of a buy if you need the defensives, rather than buy it every time because you just want to one-shot people, which I guess is the idea of it. It's kind of more of a... It's not going to be a support item, but you might buy it on off-tank type things like Galio or Amumu. It's pretty nice, but it's not OP anymore. More Akali deaths. A Hextech Revolver. Like, Akali's only really good power spike was just doing the Hextech Revolver and getting level 6 and one-shotting people. That's how people cheesed and got ahead of Akali right now. And they're even nerfing that on top of nerfing all of her stats. And Protobelt gets a nerf it finally deserves. Right, thanks for watching.